The Google Pixel XL, crowned by many, including myself, as the best Android phone out right now. The Huawei Mate 9, a rather impressive device that's been turning heads with its capabilities and its much lighter price tag. Now, can the Mate 9 give the Pixel XL a run for its money? Which is the better purchase? Well, let's go ahead and find out. So starting off with the screens, the XL has a super crisp 5.5-inch Quad HD display, which I fell in love with instantly. It looks great. It's also AMOLED, so colors are nice and punchy along with those deep dark blacks. On the Mate 9, you're looking at a larger 5.9-inch Full HD IPS LCD display. You spec heads out there probably just cringed a little, right? I mean, it's the year 2017 and we're looking at a phone with a near 6-inch screen at just 1080p. This brings to mind Huawei's Nexus 6P that came out in 2015, and that had a Quad HD display, plus it was cheaper. But to be fair, this screen isn't terrible. In fact, it looks really good. It does have those black outlines, which was a bit of a turnoff at first, but I did get used to it. And overall, the screen didn't bother me too much while I was using it. But when I went back to the Pixel, it reminded me why I enjoy its screen so much. Now, of course, this could easily be considered nitpicking, and I guess it sort of balances things out due to the battery life that you'll be saving with a lower res screen. General consumers won't really have to worry about display quality all that much with these two screens. They're both great. Now, moving on to the hardware, this is where the Mate 9 really shines. For 600 bucks, you're getting an absolute beast of a device. This phone screams premium, and it could pass for a phone priced in Pixel XL and iPhone 7 Plus range. And on top of all that, it just looks classy. From the all glass and aluminum build, its thin bezels, to the sleek dual camera lenses on the back, I'm very impressed with what Huawei did with the Mate 9. As for the Pixel, well, we know where this one's going. What's the one word everyone associates with the Pixel's hardware? Boring. Yeah, okay, so it looks boring, but really, you eventually forget about how the phone looks because in the end, it's how the phone works. I haven't thought twice about the Pixel XL's looks in quite a while. I only do that when I admire the marble skin I have on it from dbrand. Plus, most users are just gonna slap a case on their device anyway. Just know that both are built very well with high quality materials, no cheapness in sight. I am pleased to see that both of these phones still have headphone jacks, as I still find the need for them. I don't know, maybe I'm behind or just being realistic, but it's here if you need it. Both devices do have fingerprint readers on the back. They're quick and very accurate, but the Mate 9's scanner is definitely the clear winner when it comes to speed. It's pretty much instant, whereas the one on the Pixel takes its time. It's not a huge deal or anything like that. I mean, it's a split-second difference. I was just really impressed with the single tap required to access my phone. Now, when talking about how these two phones work, there really isn't too much to talk about. At this point in time, every flagship device is held to a certain performance standard, and both of these phones go above and beyond that standard, handling everything extremely well. From bouncing in between applications, playing all sorts of games, watching videos, basically everything you can do on a phone, these two handle them without a sweat. They're buttery smooth, there's pretty much no sign of lag whatsoever, and they're both quick and super snappy. I'm actually more impressed with the Mate 9 being as fast as it is with how much cheaper it is compared to the XL. And it also seems a tad snappier than the Pixel 2, which is even more impressive because of Huawei's Emotion UI skin slapped on top of Android 7.0 Nougat. Speaking of the skin, it's really not that bad in all honesty. There are a few preloaded applications scattered throughout, but it's nothing to really complain about. It's totally usable. Now, of course, on the Pixel, you've got pure, untampered Android Nougat, 7.1.1 to be exact. And Google's done a fantastic job with the overall software experience. It's not perfect, but it's definitely the main selling point of the phone, and it's what keeps me coming back to the Pixel. Continuing on with user experience, this again is where the Mate 9 shines. It's got a larger screen, which makes watching videos more enjoyable, but not only that, it's got a much better sounding set of speakers. On the XL, we're stuck with one bottom firing speaker. It doesn't sound bad, but it doesn't sound great either. It's acceptable though. On the Mate 9, however, we've got a bottom firing speaker, and the earpiece up top is used as a tiny speaker as well. You can definitely tell a difference here. Music and videos just sound fuller, but while watching videos and playing games may be more enjoyable on the Mate 9, virtual reality experience takes a hit due to its 1080p display. That is, if you even care about VR. Either way, both are great for media consumption. Now, I know you want to know how the Mate 9's camera or cameras stack up to the Pixel's. Without getting into too much detail, no pun intended, the Pixel's got the Mate 9's camera beat, period. Not to take anything away from the Mate 9, it's got a very solid set of cameras along with a bunch of cool shooting modes. I just wasn't really impressed with what I got out of it. Okay, this is a $600 phone after all, and at that point you can say it's got a great camera. Seriously, the camera on the Mate 9 is nothing to sneeze at. But to put it plainly, if I had these two phones in my pocket and I wanted to take a picture, I would take the Pixel out of my pocket 10 out of 10 times. Pictures come out clearer, sharper, and overall they just look look nicer. Now there will be these occasional instances where the Mate 9's pictures actually look better than the Pixel's pictures, but that just doesn't happen often enough. The Mate 9 has a 12 megapixel main shooter with an f2.2 aperture, and the Pixel has a 12.3 megapixel main shooter with an f2.0 aperture. But there's no getting around the fact that the Pixel has one of, if not the best camera on a smartphone out there right now. Where I can say that the Mate 9 has a bit of an upper hand here is in the camera software. Pro mode is a mere swipe away, which is great for those that need quick access to manual controls. There are a large handful of shooting modes as well as a wide aperture mode. But at the end of the day, a dual camera system and a large collection of shooting modes won't be enough to save the Mate 9 from the Pixel's superior camera. The case is the same for their respective selfie cameras. Both standing at 8 megapixels, they take good quality shots. But again, the results from the XL come out with a more natural, cleaner look, whereas on the Mate 9, results appear washed out and sometimes over sharpened. I also like how you can switch between cameras with a quick flip gesture on the Pixel. Pretty neat in my opinion. As far as video goes, the story stays the same. Both are capable of shooting 4K video, and along with that, they both sport electronic image stabilization, or EIS for short. While both do a great job of keeping things nice and smooth, again, I gotta hand it to the Pixel on this one. It almost appears as if I'm flying this thing on a gimbal. Now, as far as battery life goes, things balance out pretty nicely. I get about 5 to 6 hours of screen on time with my XL, and I get a little less on the Mate 9. It's safe to say that both are able to make it through daily tasks, both mild and heavy, quite easily. Normally with a screen size this big, you'd expect battery life to take a bit of a hit, but as I mentioned before, that 1080p resolution definitely plays a role in saving battery life, as well as the fact that the Mate 9 has a beefier 4000 mAh battery compared to the XL's 3450 mAh battery. So as far as making it through a day on a single charge, there's nothing to worry about here. So which device is the better buy? Well, the baseline Pixel XL starts at $769, which gets you 32 gigs of non-expandable storage, while the Mate 9 can be picked up for $599, and that'll get you 64 gigabytes of expandable storage. Yes, the Mate 9 actually has a micro SD card slot. I was very happy to see that. It's great to have it on hand. For me personally, it's Pixel XL all the way. It has a sharper display. I absolutely love pure stock Android, plus it has the better set of cameras. But guess what? This phone cost me nearly $1,000 after tax and all that. For just $600, I could get a phone with a near 6-inch screen, better sounding speakers, expandable storage, and a nicer feeling, more attractive build and design. So in all honesty, if you're looking for a phone that checks most of, if not all of the boxes for a phone in this price range and even higher, one whose only downfalls when compared to more expensive flagships appear to be the screen resolution and the cameras, then get the Mate 9. The only real cause for hesitation when recommending this phone besides the cameras would be the software. It's no match for unadulterated Android. But if I'm speaking the truth, it's no slouch either. It's quick, it's usable, and it's also Android 7.0. Not a lot of phones can say that they're running this close to the latest version of Android. So overall, the Mate 9 is a winner in my book, but the winner in my book is the Pixel XL. The victory is by a fairly slim margin, I will admit, which really shows how good of a device the Mate 9 truly is. I enjoy both devices a lot, and while I can easily recommend the Pixel XL to anyone, those people also have to be willing to shell out iPhone money to get that phone. But with the Mate 9, that's not the case, which makes it a more than easy recommendation. So which one do you guys like better? Which one do you think is the better buy? If you haven't gotten one yet and are planning to, which one are you picking up? Let us know by dropping a comment down below. But anyway, that does it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the Android Police channel if you haven't already. That does it for me. I'll talk to you all in the next video, and thanks for watching.